Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to On Texas Football. Welcome back to your Sunday night live stream. I'm lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Pleased to be joined by fellow lifetime Longhorn, the young prodigy C.J. Vogel. In this Sunday night live stream, we'll dive into a lot of different topics. SEC Media Days is upon us. That's one of your favorite mile markers on your way to football season. It's when you get conference media days. So officially, it's officially on the horizon. So we'll dive into that. We'll also dive into a little Major League Baseball draft happening. So there's some Longhorn relevant news coming from that we'll discuss as well. The Samari Matthews commitment from this past weekend. That's big news for the Longhorns. So we can dive into that topic coming up a little bit later on. But of course, whatever you guys want to talk about, questions, comments, throw them out there. A little bit of a truncated, abbreviated edition because it's going to be me and CJ tonight while all the guys are getting ready or heading to SEC Media Days. So just be me and CJ, but throw out your questions, comments. We'll try to address as many of them as we can. Super chats always jump to the front of the line. You can interrupt the show at any time. Just throw out a super chat. CJ, how you doing, brother? Getting ready for SEC Media Days. How you feeling about it?
I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited. I think you hit the nail on the head, Rod. I mean, it's one step closer to football being played, right? You're just checking one more box towards, football returning, and I'm excited for that. This is going to be a fun week. I'm not obviously at my house down in Austin. We're out in Atlanta, and so we're coming from the OTF frat house basically. I'm upstairs, Matthew's downstairs on the dials. We got Jeff and Bobby in the car back from the airport currently as well, and Jerry's supposed to arrive later this evening as well. So look, who knows? Someone commented, Rod. They asked who's making it to the OTF house in Atlanta this week, and I put all of the names out there. We got the whole squad, and someone responded to my tweet just saying, "I bet that house smells unbearable." I'm like, what?
Whoa, no, come on. No. This is not these guys, these are older gentlemen now. CJ's the young guy in the group, and CJ's well groomed. I'll say CJ's well groomed. I've been around CJ a lot. CJ's always well groomed, the beard, and I think I don't know if I should say CJ smells good, but he doesn't smell bad. I ain't gonna say he smells good, but I've never had an odorous smell around CJ. I've never noticed that.
So the goal, you see it there, Spicy Peanuts, not a fan apparently. But I am very excited for this week, and I think it'll be a good time at SEC Media Days, at the College Football Hall of Fame, and as well as, just hanging out with the guys out here at the house. Should be a good time. I'm excited for it.
Oh, man, that was funny. Splendid Daddy. That was me. That was me. There you go. See, that's fam right there. Always giving you a hard time. It's all in fun. It's all in fun. All right, we got a super chat already. A couple of super chats actually. So let's get right to those, and then we'll dive into some other topics. Let's just get into it. How about this one first? Oh, my helmet.
Through the hat. Put the helmet on.
Oh, there it is. This one for CJ, actually. Big money for CJ. Trying to put some
pick up. Eating good, Matthew. Come on.
There you go. Hey, Tim, appreciate that, brother. That is very kind of you. Thank you very much for the super chat. That's, like I said, way to get the week started off right.
Absolutely.
Ready for SEC Media Day. So thank you very much. I'll keep the helmet on just for a while for you, Tim, because you deserve it, brother. I actually kind of like putting it on. I need to clean this thing. I do need to. It's been a while. I mean, it's probably ain't been clean in easily a decade plus. I mean, come on. So I need to clean this damn thing.
Is it the OG chin strap too?
Oh, yeah. OG chin strap. So I'm probably going, I need to clean all of that. That's
you gotta clean that one, yeah.
Speaking of smells, I'll admit, this helmet probably doesn't smell great. We need to get that done. I'll get that done this week. I promise you guys. Thank you, Tim, for the super chat there.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.
Another one from Scott. Thank you, Scott, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. It says Derek Cooper trending to us.
Oh, look, I think
CJ.
I won't go out and say Texas is leading for Derek Cooper. I'm not ready to say that, but I do think Texas is making a very strong push behind the scenes. Of course, look, July 20th decision date. If you would have asked me about even a week ago, what was Texas's chances in this one? I don't think I would have given you a very positive answer. Now things appear to be moving in the right direction for the Longhorns, and I think Texas. I don't want to say they were embarrassed in the month of June. But I think that there were a number of recruitments that went obviously a different direction. They kind of sat around and said, "Hold on, let's start playing some big boy ball once again." But the top running back in the country, Texas, obviously no stranger to those type of recruitments. C.J. Baxter, Bijan Robinson, Derek Cooper. Who knows if he follows suit, Rob? But this is a heck of a talent right now. Texas right there with Miami as the top two teams in this recruitment at the moment for Cooper. And again, we'll see. There's about a week to go before that decision comes. Momentum is certainly leaning back towards the Longhorns here.
Yeah. No, I watched a little bit of film on the young man. I mean, that's no doubt he's special. He's got a burst in acceleration when he gets to that level. And it's like he's running downhill. Love his overall game. He's one of those guys that, certain guys move the chains and certain guys change the game.
Yeah.
Cooper is the latter. There's no about that.
He's a stud. And again, it's interesting because, look, no spring or no June official visit for Derek Cooper. He's been to campus just once, but Texas has continued to stay on him. That's Chad Scott. The minute that he got the Texas job, the first call that he made, was to Derek Cooper. Now, if this is one that Texas is able to get over the line and get into the class, that's a big splash. There's no way to hide it. But right now, look, we'll see what these next couple of days look like going early into this upcoming week.
Yeah, that's big, though, for the Longhorns. And they don't have a running back in this class, correct? There's no –
Correct. So they're still waiting. You're actually seeing a lot of them on the defensive side of the ball. Look at him playing free safety. But
I know. Dude, he's like basically a little miniature version of Miles Jack.
God, I mean, you see him flip the hips playing DB. That's not an easy thing to do for a guy that probably is getting the rock about 25 times a game. I tell you, if I had a Derek Cooper as an offensive coordinator in high school, but you might not be seeing college because I got to win some games. You're getting the ball.
You roll him into the ground like that. There's a lot of Texas high school coaches that did that to some running backs back in the day. I won't name no names, but they were like, I got to win some games. So you
that's it. Matthew, could you pull up the Derrick Henry high school stats?
Oh yeah,
I think he was like 11,000 career yards in high school.
That's not fair though, because I think I saw some of that film back in the day, some highlights. The size of this, like what coach? This is the thing about it. At one point, Derrick Henry had that size and frame, right? And there was a coach that said, "To hell with it, F it. I'm gonna keep him at running back." Because usually somebody somewhere, CJ, you that big, they're gonna be like, you know what, man? I think he's a decent edge. Oh, he's a linebacker, something like that. No, some bold. Look at that. Look at this dude.
Good Lord. 12,000 yards, man. That senior year went for 4,200, 150. That's the most ridiculous senior season stat line I've ever seen. 55 touchdowns.
Honestly, considering these stats, CJ, I'm a little shocked at how durable he's been.
Oh, 100%.
How long? I didn't realize he got that many carries in high school. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
And to still be performing at the level he is, at the age he is for running back, at that age, you're geriatric. And
there might not be a running back with a longer just volume or a deeper volume worth of touches in his entire career, of course, because he has a Heisman on his shelf too.
That's crazy. Like I had no idea, bro. I didn't realize he carried the rock that much. If I was like a parent, I'd be like, nah, I would go talk to the coaches. Like, hey man, you guys give somebody else a couple of carries. Just Derrick Henry just running downhill on you, running you out. All right, thank you for that super chat there, Scott. We appreciate it. Before we continue, first of all, let me get my hat back.
While you're doing that, Rod, I did see a comment about the similarities from Albert, from Derek Cooper to Xavier Crowell. Look, running back's an interesting spot because unless you are just otherworldly shifty, it feels like a position where leaning towards the bigger back is always a move that would provide a little bit of safety for a running back. Bigger body, bigger frame, falling forward probably a little bit more. Derek Cooper, 6'2", 220 pounds, that same frame of a C.J. Baxter at the moment. Xavier Crowell is about 5'11", 180, 185, 190 pounds in that frame. Not to say he won't get to about 205, 210, but that's a 30-pound change at the moment. Coming in a little bit physically ready right now. I think Xavier Crowell is a heck of a running back. But there's something different with Cooper moving the way that he does at that size.
And I think you're right. I mean, we were just talking about Derrick Henry and how he's been able to deal with the volume, at every level, high school, college, and pro, and still at the age of 31 years old, which is a geriatric years in running back, and he's still performing at a high level. And I think a lot of it is the size. It's just being that big, being able to take on a lot of hits and it not wear you down over a long season. I think that's just reality, which is why nobody has really bell cow running backs anymore. I mean, you don't have a guy that's going to be your every down back most of the time. You're going to have a committee or somebody to help you kind of ease that burden for the running backs. But we shall see with the Longhorns this season. They got two guys, Trey Wisner and Cedric Baxter. And Cedric Baxter, one of those bigger backs that you're talking about too. All right, let's thank our friends over at Rogue Shop really quickly before we move on. Thank you guys for the super chats and the questions, of course. This live stream, the Sunday night live stream, brought to you by good friends at Rogue Shop, rogueshop.com. Check them out, bringing real plant medicine back to its roots. Our friends over at Rogue Shop, they have it all from oils and creams, to flour and gummies. They have a variety of different items to help you deal with a variety of different ailments. Maybe for you, it's sleep deprivation. Maybe it's anxiety overall. Maybe aches and pains just from battling Father Time, or like me, just from your old playing days. Our friends at Rogue Shop, rogueshop.com. They have a ton of different items that'll help you battle those ailments. And use that discount code. You see it right there on your screen, on Texas, and you'll get a very special discount from our friends over at rogueshop.com. They also ship nationwide, no matter where you are in this great country of ours. Our friends over at Rogue Shop can get their fabulous products to you at rogueshop.com. Like I said, oils, creams, flour, gummies, and vitamins, bringing real plant medicine back to its roots. Thank you very, very much to our friends over at rogueshop.com for sponsoring our Sunday live stream. All right, let me ask you this about SEC Media Days before we answer some more questions here. What do you think is going to be the big storyline coming out of SEC Media Days? Is it going to be Texas? Like, what's going to be the big storyline people are talking about when it's done?
It's hard not to say Arch Manning, right? The star of Texas football right now. The Manning name is, I've said, synonymous with the SEC and kind of the lore that built, some pretty magical moments in the conference. But I think you're going to see some coaches maybe take a little shots at one another.
That's good. Yeah.
I think there might be some comments about some NIL, the way that things are moving right now, and we'll see. It's interesting though, because my brain immediately went to Lane Kiffin, thinking, okay, maybe Lane Kiffin takes a jab at Hugh Freeze or something, because he's been doing it on Twitter. But last year we saw Lane Kiffin in Dallas for the SEC Media Days, and it was the most reserved I've ever seen him. And I don't know if he doesn't like these settings, but I feel like a guy with his kind of personality, the little jabbiness route, I feel like he'd be perfect for it. So yeah, I'm awaiting to see if there are any subtle shots thrown around from some of the coaches.
That's good. That's good. Hell, with the way Diego Pavia's been talking lately, he might take some shots at some people. Diego Pavia's been walking around with a lot of swag lately. He was talking some trash earlier this offseason. Him talking about Bama and talking trash on the Big Ten. So that might be pretty cool. I'm with you. I do think it could end up being Arch. I can't wait to see what the media scrum is going to be. I hope they get a really good angle of it from the top. It's kind of the bird's eye coach's view so we can see it. I think ultimately the coaches are going to be asked about the House settlement, the current lay of the land, the landscape of college sports. Just like coming out of the Big 12 Media Days, I think one of the big stories coming out of the Big 12 Media Days were the coaches who were basically advocating almost employment to push this thing even further than revenue sharing and to just go on. They're tired of the NIL. They're tired of all of it. They just want to go full on employment. It was shocking to hear some coaches just straight up throw that out there. Like, Gundy talked about it. A lot of the coaches were, kind of stopping right before that. I think that might be the big story too. How far do some of these coaches go in their frustration with the current landscape, just saying, "Nah, man, I'd rather we just make these guys employees." Because I was a little surprised to hear, coach. That was one of those things that you may think about. It's the saying the quiet part out loud. It's something you can talk about behind the scenes and think about, but coaches never used to discuss.
No,
let's make these guys employees. That's what we should do. That was considered like persona non grata, and now you got coaches casually mentioning we should just make them employees. I was a little surprised by that. That might be a storyline coming out of the SEC Media Days too, if some coaches take that bold of a stance.
Well, especially whenever you start to hear other coaches actually throw out true numbers, right? Or not, maybe not true, but putting a dollar amount on rosters feels like an unwritten rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's doing it, but you don't want to make that the forefront. So, look, when Kurt Signetti went out and said that there's 7, 8, 9 rosters right now spending north of 40 million or whatever it might be, it's going to be interesting to see what type of responses are from coaches in regards to that, because one can assume that question will be asked. What amount of money do you need to build a championship winning roster and retain your guys? It's going to be really interesting. So that'll be one. And the other one, Rod, and how about this? You talk about bulletin board material. Perhaps you need it. Perhaps you don't. I think there might be some coming from the A&M side for this game. This was last year, Torian York talking about why he doesn't talk to anybody from Texas. Texas obviously didn't recruit him. He said, I don't talk to anybody over there. It's personal for me.
It's personal. That's all I have to say. It's personal.
What kind of relationship do you have with some guys on the team at Texas?
I don't talk to anybody from Texas because it's that personal to me.
I like it. But I look at who they're bringing this year from Texas A&M. It's Will Lee, who had the pick 6 off of Quinn in that game. He talks a good bit. It's Torian York, who we just watched him, becoming the heart of that Texas A&M defense. He's an outspoken guy. Mm-hmm. And then it's Armaj Reed Adams, the offensive lineman, who, if you remember at the end of that game, kind of got into a little kerfuffle with Colin Simmons on the Trey Moore strip sack to end the game. Colin obviously had a pretty direct Instagram response to him afterward as well. But we'll see what might come about that game. If Texas is mentioned, what kind of bulletin board material might be coming out of it?
I know that's a great one. That's a good one, CJ, because I forgot all about that the last year. And that was subtle. And I'm with you. I like it. I mean, I like that. I love it. Some genuine angst. These days, because of social media and they go to all the camps and stuff, a lot of the best players, they know each other or know of each other. So he knows a lot of guys at Texas. So I'm sure that he's got some ties and relationships and connections, but I'm glad that he put the rivalry first. It's like, nah, man, I don't talk to them dudes. I don't like them dudes right now.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the rivalry needs that. Texas OU got plenty of that. Texas OU, that we see that all the time. Of course, Texas and A&M haven't played in forever, and that was the first time in forever. You haven't seen the guys going back and forth. It's fun. I'm with you, CJ. I want to see that.
I do too.
And I like to see Texas respond to it. I don't know if I know to see Texas start it, but they could do it. At this point, Texas can take a shot if they want to at the Aggies. That's cool.
It's nice to be in a position Texas is in now where, look, you got perhaps the best roster in college football. You got a star quarterback. You just come off of a win in the first game back. You have the upper hand, right? You can talk a little smack. It's tougher when you're punching up, right? Mm-hmm. That's where it's like, okay, hold on. Maybe you figure out something on the field beforehand. But I'm just glad that this game's back. And I think taunting is great. I think passion. I think comments like this are what make college football so much fun, man. I've been a big advocate for more taunting in college football. In football in general. Celebrations are great. Throw the horns up, throw the horns down. I don't care. It's passion. It's what the game needs.
I agree. I'm on board with that too. Well done. Good rant. That's good.
Solid TED talk right there.
Yeah. To your point about Lane Kiffin, and you think that Lane Kiffin, because he's always got really cool stuff to say and he's great. He's got the gift of gab. Last year, folks in the chat pointed out that his dad passed away.
That's right.
And that could have been one of the reasons he was so reserved and a little bit more quiet. That makes perfect sense. And so now he's grieved. You probably go get the old Lane back this year. taking some shots. I didn't think good point, guys, in the chat.
Good point. Yeah, sorry about that.
Also, throwing it out there. How about this one? Oh, we got a super chat. Let me get to the super chat quickly here. Edgar, thank you for a super chat. We appreciate you. How about this one? Said lots of linebacker love for good reason. Rod, your boys in the D backfield ain't looking too shabby. Share some thoughts on that group's growth potential, schematic advantages, etc. Thank you, Edgar, for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Listen, the DBs this season, I think there's one question mark in the defensive backfield that I have, And I don't know if we know where it is. We've talked about this, right? Are they going to put Gilbo at nickel, or is Gilbo going to play corner? If Gilbo plays corner opposite Malik Muhammad, then maybe I have questions about who's going to fill the nickel spot. Is that going to be Jelani McDonald in a full-time role, which I doubt, because I think that's more situational and matchup based. Who's going to be that nickel? I think you're so deep at safety. When Derek Williams gets healthy, essentially you have 3 starting caliber safeties. And I think they'll probably build on that rotation and be even deeper, maybe by the end of the season at safety. I mean, who knows where, Phil Sami and Jonah Williams is at the end of the season. Like, I have no idea. So I think safety, you're fine. I think corner, whoever, if Gilbo's at nickel, then is it Warren Roberson going to be in that spot? Are we talking about Kobe Black in that spot? Is it a young Cade Phillips that steps up there? The best thing is they have options. I just don't know if they know exactly how they want to proceed. And maybe the option versus Ohio State is a little bit different than how the secondary is going to look versus A&M, for instance, that we were just talking about, because you'll have, so much time for those young bucks to really, to really get acclimated, for those guys, the lights start to come on, those guys to start to get comfortable in the system. I think the secondary is going to be a strength. There's no doubt. I'm being nitpicky here. All right. Can they be as good as last year? Last year's secondary is one of the best in Texas football history. That I do wonder if it'll be as good as last year. That's the question. Right. That secondary did not really, I guess if you want to say they had a weakness last year, it was just don't attack Janae Barron and stay away from the safeties. So, Cade Klubnik went after Gilbo a little bit. They went after Malik Muhammad a little bit. But those are guys who are going to play in the league. Those are NFL receivers with an NFL quarterback.
Right. And Texas didn't face many of those.
Yes, exactly. And when Texas faced anything that was lower than that level, Texas pretty much dominated.
Suffocating.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, listen, I expect Gilbo to take a step. I expect Malik Muhammad to take a huge step to be an all-conference caliber player. If he isn't in the conversation to be all SEC, I would be disappointed. I think he will be, by the way. I'll call my shot on it. I like it. I think he's that good. I really do. And last year, I just think there was some moments he was inconsistent. He's a technician, and sometimes his technique failed him last year. He won't allow that to happen, I don't believe. He's too good of a player.
Right.
So I think, to me, Muhammad's going to be a strength. Taft is going to be, he's unbelievable. He's going to be great for you. He's going to be a solid rock. I love what Jelani McDonald brings to the table with his versatility. And I think they're going to try to weaponize that. So I think matchup based, depending on who you play and depending on the type of offenses you play, you could see him in that big nickel role at times. But he's definitely going to be rotating as a starting safety, or basically essentially getting starting reps. And so will Derek Williams when he's healthy. So you got 3 starting safeties back there. Coverage-wise, they will play a little more man-to-man, I believe. But it's not going to be an overwhelmingly – it's not going to be overwhelmingly like majority man-to-man. They're still going to do what they do, which is pattern match coverage. They're going to play a lot of – last year, actually, for the first time, they had more single high coverages than 2 high coverages. I am a little bit, curious to see if that continues. But I think they're going to play a little bit more man-to-man, and I do think they have confidence they're going to be able to get to the quarterback quickly, which is why they're going to roll the dice and play a little bit more man-to-man. And they're going to play better quarterbacks. They got to be prepared for that. Last year's quarterbacks was just terrible. It just wasn't good at all. It wasn't.
You're right.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And fortunately for Texas again, and we talk about no Jade, no Makuba. You still have Colin Simmons, which might be just as impactful for anybody in that secondary as anybody that you had in the secondary a year ago. Getting after the quarterback, making sure that window to throw and the time to throw is short. Well, Rod, you talk about the importance of not having to chase a guy around the field for 5 seconds. And when you only have about a second and a half, maybe 2 tops to get that ball out, well, there's your margin for error there is a place you want to be at as a cornerback.
Yeah, I think you want to try to throw on early downs against Texas. Throwing on predictable passing downs against Texas is going to be tough. When Colin Simmons knows you're throwing the football and him and Trey Moore can just pin their ears back and get after you, that's going to be tough. You want to put them in conflict. I think I would throw the ball against Texas early, like on first downs. I would try to stay away from third and longs. Third and longs, you're going to be in trouble against Texas.
Let me ask you this, because we've talked about, and Edgar, thank you for the super chat. This kind of sparked a new idea for this conversation, Rod. We talk about how Texas is going to defend and had defended Jeremiah Smith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether they move a safety right over the top, change personnel, whatever. How do you defend Colin Simmons? Because a one-on-one is a losing battle. I don't know. It doesn't even matter who the left tackle or right tackle is. That's just not a battle that I think anybody is willingly going to jump into. But that changes a lot. If you always have to chip with the tight end, if you have to move 2 offensive linemen over, if you always have to have a running back to that set, that changes things. How do you stop him, Rod? What's the game plan if there is one? Because then that opens up everybody else on the opposite side of the ball to get pretty favorable one-on-one matchups.
I agree. I would give a lot of help, a lot of chipping by tight ends and running backs. There's no question. And the truth is, I treat them like Micah. You know what they do against to Micah Parsons in the league? They run at him, run at you. Like, because I gotta wear you down somehow. I can't just let you be fresh for pass rush situations. And usually, guys who are really good pass rushers, at times some of them are undersized. Can be. Now I know Colin Simmons put on some weight too, but I'll test it. And I'd run the ball at them early on too, just to try to. And there are times where great pass rushers can be underwhelming run defenders. I'm not saying that is Colin Simmons, but I would test it out. Remember that Micah Parsons had to learn how to defend the run better. The team was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna run at you. All right, we're not gonna let you just pin your ears back." That's number one. I would chip. I would always give help. I always get help. Move the pocket away from him, of course. Move the pocket away from that dude as much as possible. Make him chase, getting frustrated in that way. I mean, that's not much you can do. And that's I start
it's a game breaker.
Yeah, I would kind of start with those things.
Yeah.
And you need a lot of hot routes ready to go, and check downs ready to go, built in fail safes within the offense, because you might have to do it a lot with that dude coming. Just because it's just real. And I would, if I'm with the line, depending on the protections, I would slide him his way most of the time. Like, we're sliding that way. The problem with that is you got to Trey Moore on the other side.
Right.
So you're gonna make that job easy if you're gonna slide protection his way. Then Trey Moore is on the other side getting one-on-one, and he's fine chasing the play down from behind. He didn't care about that.
He's certainly fast enough to make those plays from the backside on other rollouts. I like what you said about running at him. And look, I don't think we're saying anything here, Rod, that opposing offensive coordinators haven't theorized already. So we're not giving away, the free game here on how to negate the impact of a Colin Simmons. Because look, he's a good, solid, run defender. I think we saw plenty of tackles for loss or tackles right at line of scrimmage, but you do that time and time again through the first quarter, first half. Well, not only does it wear you out physically, but mentally, now you got to sit there and say, okay, are they ever going to pass the ball? Mm-hmm. Are they ever going to give me my opportunity to get after the quarterback? Yep. Or am I just going to have to worry about defending my 2 gaps? That's going to be part of the mind game that goes into it as well. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of tennis, and so I hear them talk about, what goes on in the mindset of someone returning a serve. If they've had success, serving up the tee, am I going to cheat that way, or do I just always feel like the slice is going to take it away on the opposite side? It's given my brain a lot to think about in terms of, how else does that apply in football for defensive linemen and edge guys? Getting run right at is I'm assuming not very fun.
Yeah, and to your point, it's a great point, CJ, about the psychology of it. You need to give your offensive lineman a chance to take shots, get hits on them, because in pass protection situations, he's usually gonna get done dirty, right? He's gonna get put in the blender by Colin Simmons. Colin Simmons is gonna win the majority of those reps, and that's fine. But hey, passing's only half the battle. Usually on the rundowns, that's when offensive linemen get to get their shots in. Because the defender, he's worried about gap integrity. He's worried about assignment football. And then that O-lineman's going to, boom, I'm just going to get my little shot in. Hey, my running back only got 3 yards, but I got me a shot. But to your point, the psychology, defenders don't like getting hit like that. No. And they get you to keep getting hit early on. It is. I mean, it takes a little bit of a toll, but I think psychologically it frustrates them. So I'm with you. I would play that game too. You got to give your offensive linemen chances to tee off on guys. And the only way they do that is to run the football. They can't tee off on a guy when they're pass protecting. Very rarely is an O-lineman teeing off on somebody in pass protection, guys. It don't happen. They're usually retreating. They're retreating, going backwards. On run blocking, they teeing off. So I would do that for the psychology of it. That's a good point, CJ. How about this one from Justin? Justin with a super chat says, CJ, what is something you plan on asking Sark? Oh, that's good. And who elsewhere do you plan on talking to?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some alone time with some of these guys this weekend. Texas, of course, bringing Anthony Hill, Michael Taft, Arch Manning. I'm personally not planning on getting one-on-one time with any of these guys. That's how Texas rolls. But I've talked about it with you, Rod, on the winning drive. If I had one question for Sark right now, it would kind of be more quarterback-centric.
That's good.
And it would be about kind of the basketball background. Is that something that he prioritizes? Because, the job of a point guard and the job of the quarterback are very similar. Get the ball to where they need to go to score points, take care of the football, take care of the basketball, and get it to where it needs to go to orchestrate plays, to be a floor general. You got to have that similar mindset. And Texas has had a pretty solid run of quarterbacks, obviously. And when you look at a lot of these quarterbacks, they all, for the most part, have a basketball background at some point. Arch played at Isidore Newman. KJ Lacey obviously was a big basketball player up until about his sophomore season at Saraland. Diabell, don't need to go into that one. And if Texas ends up with a Kavian Bryant, well, look, he's the best basketball player of the bunch. He's got legitimate D1 offers from big-time programs. I feel like there's a psychology to that as well. And it used to be about baseball. It used to be, hey, go pick a shortstop, go pick an outfielder, someone with a big arm. And, the off-platform throws, I think, is one of those terms that folks kind of fell in love with. And it just kind of became a buzzword. It's like, oh, yeah, man, that's the off-platform throws. And that's valuable. Don't get me wrong. But there's something different to just being able to throw a ball funky versus I need to get the ball where it needs to go in a timely manner. And I know I can do that because I've been a point guard my whole life. I feel like there's some truth to that. And I'd like to get Sark's comments on whether or not, that's something that he thinks about.
No, that is a great theory. And I think you got a lot of evidence to back it up too. And even if he's not doing it intentionally, I almost wonder if it's subconscious at this point because I've talked about this with Sark. Sark's quarterbacks, their playing styles are starting to look a little different too. He's taking these quarterbacks who have really good second reaction ability, really good improv ability to throw on the run really well. They're not, and maybe that's just because the quarterback position is changing so drastically because, you have some of the best athletes on the team playing quarterback. So maybe that's a result of just the evolution of the game, or he's taking these quarterbacks now that, I think have that improv off schedule ability. And Sark wants his offense to operate on schedule, in rhythm. Like ideally, he wants that Mac Jones offense that he had when he won the national title in 2020. Like that's ideally what he wants. But the quarterbacks he's taking now, the Diabells, KJ Lacey's in that conversation too. Arch even has this too. Those instincts to operate off schedule when the play breaks down, to make the play caller right, even when he was wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he knows that is an innate trait that you really can't teach. This guy just got it or he don't. And Quinn didn't have that. That's not really Quinn's. Quinn wants to be on schedule and rhythm. That's when Quinn's
on schedule. Yeah.
Yes. Man, when the play breaks down, though, some of these other guys, that's when they actually shine. There's some of their best traits shine through when the play breaks down. That's what Arch is like that to me. Diabell, KJ Lacey. And
I watch KJ Lacey's tape, Rod. Ooh, it's all of it. That's the whole tape is the magical breakdown.
Like a Bryce Young had some of that, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
To your point, basketball is a lot of that. Basketball is jazz. There's a lot of improv and freestyle. Okay, and I think Sark's starting to appreciate that. I love that question, CJ. You got to get that one in, and you got to get the layout in there too, and the breakdown. That's beautiful. That's football theory right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's football theory. It is. That's football theory in a nutshell right there. We just had a football theory conversation. All right. We got more super chats. Let's get right to them. Thank you for that one. That was good. CJ, I've tried Circle of Trust. Circle of Trust. Well done. It's a great. That's a great name.
That is a great name.
That's a great name. Thank you for the super chat, Circle of Trust. CJ, I've tried telling disgruntled OTF fans that you were being a pro journalist in your Mateer interview, that they need to chill. What are some big questions you are asking at SEC Media Days? Wow, you got criticism for showing some Mateer love? Is that what happened? Really?
I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot of it, but thank you for having my back as a big J journalism right here. I got my degree at home says journalism.
Nice.
Yeah. I really went to
Mama Vogel got that degree?
It's at my house.
Is that, oh, really? Good for you. I'm glad Mama let you.
I'm holding on to that one.
My mama kept mine for like 10 years after I got it. Like, she kept it. She gave it back to me. She's like, you can have it now. I'm done looking at it. She wanted to look at it forever. So Mama
she's proud. She was proud. Yeah. But no, look, I like Mateer, and also in that interview, he kind of gives me some slack. We talked a good bit before the interview, and I asked him about the Texas OU game, what he was excited about, and he hits me with well, you're a Texas fan. I immediately correct him. Said, I cover Texas.
Yeah.
But point is, I mean, he was a good sport. I like Mateer a good bit. But look, I do think, and yes, I was kind of caught off guard by him saying that. I will be honest. Some of the big questions, look, more so about the defensive side of the ball. I really want to hear about Lance Jackson. I want to hear about the work ethic of a Grayson Littleton or a Justice Terry. How are these guys who we're hearing a lot about on the defensive side of the ball, how are they coming to work every day? And I think you're going to hear that from a Michael Taft, who is very, very gracious with his praise of others. I think he distributes that very well. And as well as, Anthony Hill, obviously now the face of this defense going into year 3. Just tell me some more about the guys that we're hearing a lot about, because that's something I think all Texas fans over here at OTF can relate to. Is you get one positive nugget and you want more, right? You just get greedy, especially this close to the football season, where you're saying we might have an underrated gem on this team. Let me know everything I can about them. Hopefully, we get some of that this weekend. But I'm going to be asking about some of these young cats, and also maybe what's a road game that they're most excited for, because quite frankly, I don't know if there are 3 – if any team in the country has 3 road games as exciting as Georgia, Ohio State, and Florida this year.
That's true. That's a good point, though. Yeah, I mean, I never traveled to road games that sexy. I never. I mean, nothing against the Big 12, but
you couldn't do it. Ames, Iowa probably doesn't do it for you.
It's not Stillwater, not the same. I'm excited for those guys. Excited for the fans too, man. It's gonna be cool. All right, Clint here with a super chat. Thank you, Clint. Says, do we see KJ Lacey being the QB2 or Trey Owens? It's an important question due to the fact that we have never had a full season of a healthy QB1 under Sark. Clint, you are wise, my man. You are wise, and you are kind. So appreciate the super chat. But yeah, I mean, that's just the reality of it. And that's why I think Sark went out and got himself another quarterback. And that's literally why he did it. I think it's still an open competition for that backup spot overall, right? Am I off about that?
I think so. I think ultimately you'll see Matthew Caldwell as that guy, a guy with legitimate Division I playing time. Our Blake Monroe actually had a tremendous update earlier today. If you're on Texas Football, go take a look at that, because he mentions Caldwell, but he also has a little nugget in there about a 5-star 2026 prospect. So go take a look over at ontexasfootball.com. But that position is so valuable, because if Arch Manning does go down, and I don't know if you heard that, but I'm knocking on wood here, you're in a tough spot, because you haven't seen valuable time for Trey Owens. You certainly haven't seen anything with KJ Lacey yet, obviously, as a true freshman. So you're going to need a guy with playing time and experience. That's where Matthew Caldwell comes in. We've heard the offseason actually been very solid for him. Of course, he arrived in June. I think he has a little bit more zip in his arm than maybe some folks anticipated. So that's where I would lean, is the guy with playing time, playing experience, starting experience as well, and then roll into the season with the development of a Trey Owens and KJ Lacey.
Yeah, I mean, to me, you guys know I'm a big Trey Owens fan. All right, that's just been from the jump. I mean, Trey Owens' upside, he has more tools and more high-level traits than Matthew Caldwell. Like, period. But this is about experience and actual game reps. And Trey Owens doesn't have a lot of those in critical moments. And I think Sark brought him in because he wants Trey Owens to go leave no doubt. Go win the job and leave no doubt. And right now, I think there is doubt. And how can there not be doubt when Trey Owens hasn't necessarily done it yet at a high level? I do think he has those skills. I'm on the record for saying I don't think he's going to finish his eligibility here in Texas because I think ultimately he's too good. He's going to go somewhere else and go start somewhere else because he's just that good. So I got a lot of belief in Trey Owens. I'm going to hold out hope that Trey Owens can go win that job and leave no doubt. But, man, he's still – even if he balls out in training camp, it's still the doubt is still there because he hasn't done it in a game. And I wonder if he'll have enough or at least build enough trust with the coaches that they go, no, we've seen him. We know this guy can do it. So I'm rooting for Trey Owens. I hope it works out.
100%.
Yeah, because I think it'll expedite that process I'm talking about if he doesn't necessarily win that job. And the reason is just because he hasn't played because of the experience.
Going back to what you said about just that magical ability to make plays happen when they fall off a script, Trey Owens has that. I know the frame might not lead you to think he's the most nimble guy at 6'5". What is he? He's actually listed at 219 pounds on the roster. That's about a 20-pound decrease from when he first arrived. But you watch him play, and there's some – this is lofty. There's some Ben Roethlisberger to the way that he maneuvers through the pocket.
Yeah.
A big body that, in eyesight, you just don't think necessarily that it equates to nimbleness. But the way that he kind of climbs and maneuvers and runs through pockets while always maintaining eyes downfield, I like that. That's my favorite part about his game. And we talked about it. When you play with a bad offensive line in high school, it's sink or swim every snap, essentially. So it becomes second nature to you. Arch obviously had, to deal with some of that as well as Isidore Newman. And it was one of those things that I think Quinn maybe never fully
honed. He never cultivated.
Yeah. Look, South Lake Carroll, let's just be honest, great offensive lines. So that's always been one of my theories with quarterbacks early on is, do you have that sixth sense because you play with a bad offensive line, or is that something that you're going to have some growing pains with?
Yeah, and to add to your theory, CJ, the belief is that like pressure to sack rate, which is one of the ways they try to determine sack avoidance. There's no actual stat to sack avoidance. Probably needs to be. But they try to pressure to sack rate is one of those stats that they try to translate to sack avoidance. And they say it's sticky, which means usually a guy's pressure to sack rate in college is around the same in the NFL. And it's to your point, like if you hone that skill or you ain't got it. You do got sack avoidance skill or you don't. And it's interesting that you bring it up because I agree with you. I think Big Ben, that's a great example of it too. I can even see him too. Like the ball up high, he's like moving around in the pocket. It's just he's got good feet. He's not agile, but the feet.
Yeah.
Always like active and really smart in terms of the avoiding pressure. It's a good point there. All right, let's thank our friends over at Rogue Shop one more time before we get done with tonight's live stream. Our friends at rogueshop.com. You can check them out. Use that code, though, by the way, on Texas. You see it right there on your screen, and you'll get a very special discount from our good friends over at rogueshop.com, bringing real plant medicine back to its roots. They have it all from oils and creams to flour, gummies, and vitamins, and they ship nationwide. No matter where you are in this great country of ours, our friends at Rogue Shop, they can get their products to you. So check them out, rogueshop.com. Though maybe you're dealing with sleep deprivation, maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's aches and pains from battling father time. Our friends at Rogue Shop have a variety of different items to help you battle those ailments. Just check them out at rogueshop.com, bringing real plant medicine back to its roots. Thank you very much to Rogue Shop for sponsoring our Sunday live stream and being a part of the On Texas football family. We got a super chat from Splendid Daddy. Got another one here. Says, you had to be there. CJ was starstruck by Mateer. Starstruck, I tell you.
No, just doing the job.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I watched Mateer's film. I didn't even want to watch as much as I did, but I started enjoying watching him. He's fun to watch. Now, I don't know. I don't want him to be fun to watch when Texas plays him, but he's got some juice, man. He's got some juice. I'm telling you, he does. He's got some weird, funky arm angles that he's throwing from. But he talk about that second reaction, improv, off schedule ability. He's got some of that too. So I don't know if it's all going to translate to Oklahoma, but I mean, I understand why CJ likes him. I don't know if he's been starstruck and all that, but I understand as an evaluator of talent, I get why CJ likes the guy.
You ever been starstruck, Rod?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. Yeah. Get starstruck all the time. I mean, I got starstruck in the league when I was my teammates. I would get once you realize, like, oh, I made it to the league, and it's like, oh man, like when Jerry Rice is your teammate, and you're sitting across the locker, and you're like, that's Jerry Rice over there. How can I get closer to Jerry Rice without Jerry Rice thinking I'm weird? And talk to Jerry Rice about football. And I found this, just throw it out there, just the way I did it. I know y'all might think something of this, but the steam room was the best way to do it. He liked to go to the steam room, and he stayed there a long time. And people didn't want to stay in the steam room as long as Jerry, but Rod B would find I'd watch Jerry. I stalked Jerry. When Jerry went in the steam room, Rod B was headed there too to get my moment with Jerry. And I got a few moments with the GOAT.
You walk in with your own pitcher of water, be like, hey, you want me to
I'm just
steam it up or what?
When you're in the steam room with just you and another man for a while, at the while you just open up like, what's up, young buck? Oh, nothing. What's going on, Jerry? So that's how I got my moment with the GOAT. So
you hit him with the, hey man, it's really hot in here.
Oh, trust me, he probably realized I was pretty damn nervous talking to him anyway. But
I had a starstruck. I've gotten much better. There was a while like early on where I was just like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't like talking. I don't like getting out to meet new people. My first, like, immediately after I graduated from UT, like I graduated in December of 2020. Sark gets hired about 3 weeks later. His introductory press conference or some press conference very early. I've never told this story before. Very early in the spring. Press conference ends, Sark and John Bianco depart from the room, and I'm thinking, all right, cool. Like that was great. Now I can go enjoy the rest of my day, write a story. I get in the elevator, thinking I'm the only one in the elevator. And just like a movie, as the door is closing, you just see a hand shoot through, opens it up. And it's Sark and Bianco, and they walk in, and it's just me in the elevator, and I didn't muster a word the entire ride. 9 floors down the elevator, Sark kind of hits me with a little head nod, like, hey, how's it going? I sat there. It was a Southwest. It was like a want to get away moment. I'm sitting there getting smaller and smaller. And the door, like we hit the I know the minute that like each floor passes, I'm sitting there just like, oh, this isn't going well. Like, none of this is going well. The door for the elevator opens up as we hit the bottom floor. And he turns around and just goes, all right. I still didn't say anything, Rod. I sat there and just go,
Another, he acknowledged the awkwardness, like, all right.
Yeah, I was like, man, like, you could have been talking to John Bianco. Like, y'all had someone say something. It was bad. I fumbled the whole thing. The whole thing, Rod.
That was great. One of those Southwest moments you just want to get away. That was.
I'm sweating just thinking about it again.
Wow. I love that Sark acknowledged the awkward though. Mama Vogel heard that story. Yeah, you got to have, you're supposed to have something. It's like some small talk. Retired rookie man. It's always good to know some premeditated elevator. Exactly, premeditated elevator talk. Something small. Something. Oh, hey, sorry.
You should just hit him with a hey, man, good weather. You know,
Yeah, right. Barbecue is always good. Barbecue and food and stuff in Austin is always good. You can throw it out there. People are always willing to get into a conversation about food and barbecue.
Oh yeah. You got the Terry Blacks.
No, that was good.
I'm gonna let you down real easy with this one, Cisco.
I hope you're not like that with Rivers. No, I don't think he gets nervous around women. I think he was starstruck because it was Sark, and he's like, "That's Sark. It's the new head coach. I am here." Hold up, were they talking? Were John Bianco and Sark talking in the elevator?
No, it was completely quiet.
Oh no, it was. You can hear everything. You hear like stomach grumbling and everything.
Man, bad. But you learn. Like, that's part of the job. You got to learn on the fly. It was just the head man. That's the most important piece of the puzzle that you cover now.
Yeah. No, now you can. Okay, here. CB says, "Hey, Sark, why was Reggie on the sideline?" There you go. Hey, CB. There you go. He'd be like, "Okay, well, damn, that's pretty forward." What would you? Well, okay, if you could now transport yourself, you could tap the flux capacitor and jump into the DeLorean and go back in time to that moment. What would you say now in that moment? Would it be a joke? Would it be you ask? What would you ask him in that moment?
Oh. So, Sark, is there actual truth to the fact that you recruit quarterbacks with basketball backgrounds?
Well done. He'd be like,
get your thoughts.
This guy's done his research. All right, that's good. All right, we got I know we get close to the end here. We got a super chat though before we get done. Menu to Sports. Thank you, Menu to Sports. He said, "Is it true material deep ball stats tell a Quinn Ewers like tale?" On a separate note, damn it, CJ, you fumbled that opportunity, brother.
I know.
Oh man. Actually, if I can find my notes, I remember he's a boomer bust guy with the.
He is. He threw 7 picks. 6 of them came over 20 yards down the field. The only other one became 10-19 range. So the turnover percent or turnover worthy plays, if you will, significantly higher further down the field. Now, of course, his average distance of target beyond that 20-yard range actually sits at 30, which is pretty considerable given how many attempts he's had. But 12 touchdowns, 6 picks, only about 39% completion. So that's not a great rate. You'd like to be around 45. You'd like to be, I know the top guys in the country a year ago on deep shots were around 50. I think Jay Daniels actually one year his Heisman year had like a 60% completion.
Crazy.
Just absurd. But look, it's not great. Quinn, I think, was around 35%. So obviously that tells the tale of what we knew about Quinn going deep. So boom or bust is the best way I've described that, Rob.
Yeah. And the receivers for Oklahoma, even like I said, I don't know if they are going to have those types of deep threats. We shall see.
Yeah,
because they kind of renovated that wide receiver room via the transfer portal. Joshy says, my worst starstruck moment was at A&M's rec center when Mike Evans dunked on me during a rec game and called me a MFer. I stood there mouth agape.
I'd have gone home. I'd have taken my ball and left.
Oh man, he called you an MF. Why did he drop the MFer on you? I mean, he could have just, come on, dunking on somebody is enough. And then you got to MF for him? That's not good. I would say that when you dunk on somebody, you do want to drop an MF bomb. I've never dunked on anybody, so I wouldn't know. But I imagine it feels like better if you can just dunk.
Oh, God. It's a feeling I know I'll never have. And it kills me every day. The best celebration in any sport, like still to this day, the dunk, and I forget who it is, but he does the. It's unbelievable. It's my favorite celebration in sports.
Oh man, yeah, I will admit. See, CJ and CJ, what? I'm 5'8", 5'9". What do you, CJ? 5'8", something like that.
5'9".
Yeah. Okay, 5'9". My bad.
Strong 5'9".
We don't know the joys of dunking on another human being. It's just we'll never know that joy. All right.
Basketball basically is. That's it.
right?
Sean
Okay.
Kemp, thank you, Menu to Sports.
Okay, how about this? Get a couple of questions in, and then we can we'll end things. How about this one from Hooking from Arkansas? How are the wide receivers going to do this year for being so young? Sark said he was confident in that group. Honestly, Hooking from Arkansas, I think Sark, his system it's like a wide receiver friendly system too. Like, and remember he said the ball will find certain guys in his system. I truly believe that in Sark's system. So I think that they're gonna have a big year. The question is, who's gonna be the leading receiver? Is it gonna be Moore or Wingo? Like, which one of those guys is gonna be?
Yeah, I've juggled this. I think you're going to see more yards from Ryan Wingo. I think you might see more receptions from DeAndre Moore.
Okay.
And that was even last year. Look, I rewatched the SEC championship game the other day. Don't ask me why. Actually, do ask me why. It was because I was looking for that play route, the double pump slip
you
screen.
found it too.
Found it. It was a terrible call in the moment, by the way. Anyways, I was rewatching that game, and it's, I guess, everything about that game and the kicks and the moment and the way they lost overshadowed DeAndre Moore. Had 11 receptions in that game for about 150 yards. He had a tremendous game in perhaps the biggest game Texas played at the time, right? So I think even with a Matthew Golden, even with an Isaiah Bond, even with a Gunnar Helm, he carved out quite a role for himself. Now, the hands failed him a little bit towards the back end of the season last year, and that, I believe, will be remedied. But I do believe that there is going to be a very healthy target share for him. I think that that's one of those things where you look at a familiar face, someone that obviously with him and Ryan Wingo being the only two returners, I really do think that you're going to see perhaps the most targets to anybody go to Moore because of that position, because of that value, the way that they use motion to targets and et cetera. It makes sense in that regard for me.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. All right, how about this one from Jedi Master Bevo says, Rod and CJ, appreciate you guys. Thinking about possible combos for the NASCAR package gives me warm fuzzies. Do you see a possibility of Hill, Spence, Moore, Simmons, and Colin Vosick on the field together? Wow. This is interesting because Hill is going to get out there. Moore and Simmons will be out there. I don't know how big Colin Vosick is. Remember, Barron Sorrell was awesome when they would bump him inside on the NASCAR package, and he'd bump inside to D-tackle, and then they'd get their three edge rushers on the field. I think Burke is bigger than Vosick, so he would fit, but Vosick is better pass rusher, in my opinion, than Burke. Burke is awesome. Burke's going to play in the league. All right, so I'm not trying to disparage him at all, but in terms of natural pass rushers, and you're trying to just put all your best pass rushers on the field in that NASCAR package, Vosick is just a better pass rusher. Yeah. And I just don't know if he's big enough to bump inside, but you don't have that much of a concern with that because you're only going to use it in third and long situations anyway. So that's a first world problem. But maybe they'll decide, maybe they'll put a Justice Terry in there. Like, I have no idea who they're going to get to play the Barron Sorrell role right now in that NASCAR package.
I think that's a great point. Looking at Colton Vosick, look, 6'5 plus 6'6". Big kid, 250 pounds. Barron Sorrell, 6'3", 256, but it's a different 256, right? It's a stockier.
Yeah.
It's in what I believe to be a much more difficult 256 to move than that of Colton Vosick. Yeah. And that's no knock on Colton, but look, he's just longer, right? Leaner. I look at Lance Jackson as the perfect piece for this. It might not be in 2025. It might not be. Look, it's tough to get on the field early for trench guys. But he's got the perfect frame. And I think he plays at 265. That's the 6'5", 265. That's sturdier, right? Mm-hmm. That's especially when seeing him in person. His lower body is just perfect for it. Justice Terry especially, I think, is another piece at 270 pounds. If you want to play him as a NASCAR nose, I mean, yeah, that's perfect. But how much of that will you see year one? That's the big question. But at any point this year, Rod, if you see Vosick and Colin Simmons on the field together on each ends, that's your best pass rushing tandem from edge rushers. I'm not including Anthony Hill, not including Brad Spence. I might be including Trey Moore.
Oh, okay. Oh,
that might be my hot take. But if Colton Vosick stays, and there's some twitch to that edge game that I don't think anybody on this team has outside of Colin Simmons.
I will say that his havoc rate, strangely enough, is one of the highest on the team. Now, very small sample size, but his havoc rate is extremely high. So to your point, he does make a lot of splash plays when he's out there. I'd say I'm a big Vosick fan. I think he's got, I'm with you about the twitch. He's got some natural pass rushing traits. One more thing, Jedi Master Bevo, I will say this too. I have theorized that you could get a flex package potentially where they do put, of course, Anthony Hill and Brad Spence out there at linebackers, Trey Moore and Colin Simmons out there as well as kind of very versatile edge pieces too. And those 4 linebackers / guys who could all play on the edge, right? A package like that. I don't know if you'd have a Vosick in there, but I do think you can get kind of a 2-4-5 look with 2 D tackles. Those 4 players I just mentioned, all pass rushers, linebackers who can also play on the edge, and then your 5 DBs. I've talked about this. Almost, I would complement it with a big nickel package. So I would have it insulated with a rush, basically a run first approach with 2 D tackles who are really good run defenders. And I would also use a big safety package or the big nickel package with 3 safeties so that I would have better run defenders on the field in the secondary too. So that if I got that flex package out there in a second and long, you wouldn't be able to exploit it and say, oh, we're just going to run against it. Well, go ahead. I got 2 of my best run D tackles in there, run stuffing D tackles, and I have a big nickel package where I can bring another safety down into the box. So that could be some funky stuff you do. And then they would never know where those edges linebackers are going to line up. You could do a lot of twists and stunts. You could do, some simulated pressures with those guys. You can do a lot of funky things. So I think they could be working on something like that, Jedi Master Bevo.
Last year, I was surprised. I thought it was going to be Colin Simmons. It turned into it was Vernon Broughton, who was kind of the pass rushing threat of the 2. I think even after all this, hypothesizing of where they're going to go with the NASCAR nose, the answer might just be Murad Watson. 300 pounds, 6'2", you cover the run game there, Rod. And I think that there's enough of a pressure threat. He's not a sack guy, obviously, but there's enough of an interior pressure threat to, all right, now you can bump in one of those outside jacks and really find ways to get pressure from the middle as well.
I like that. All right, good stuff, CJ, as always. And thank you guys for the questions. Sorry we couldn't get to all of them. You guys had some great questions today. Awesome stuff. Couldn't get to all of them, so I apologize about that. If we missed any of your questions, please direct them to the gentleman at Coffee and Football tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8:15. Jerry and Bobby will be ready for your questions. And, of course, we're covering SEC Media Days. Whole team is down there at SEC Media Days. So all of your SEC Media Day stories, all of the interviews, we'll have you taken care of. I promise you guys. So just keep it tuned right here to the On Texas YouTube platform, ontexasfootball.com. If you're not a member, you should become one. You can use the code OTFOG, and you can get a year subscription to ontexasfootball.com for just $39.95. You won't find a better deal than that. If you're a baller on a budget, you'll appreciate that deal. Use that code OTFOG and become one yourself for just $39.95 for a year subscription. Thank you guys for all the super chats. Really kind of you. Sorry, like I said, we couldn't get to all the questions, but we'll also, CJ and I will be back with Coach tomorrow, 3:15 for the winning drive. Coach Bob Shipley, myself, and CJ Vogel. So if you have some questions that you want to direct to us, you can do that tomorrow as well. We'll be talking a lot about SEC Media Days. Thank you to our friends at rogueshop.com. Use that code on Texas. You'll get a very special discount from them. Thank you to Matthew behind the scenes. He's the real MVP, folks. Oh, he got a
my God.
That's why he's the best in the business. See? That's great. That was fantastic.
Get downstairs, Matthew.
See, CJ did it to himself. I remember when he got on, I was like, what is CJ doing? CJ did it to himself. That's why Matthew's the best. Thank you, Matthew, for that.
TB, great gift, by the way. That was awesome.
That's great. All right. Thank you guys for the questions in the super chat. Thank you for taking the time with us on a Sunday. For Matthew and for CJ, I'm Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Until next time, hook 'em horns.